I'm 37 and I've tried my entire life to make friends and I'm so lonely. I haven't had a friend in 24 years and I've been single for 19 years. I wish I could find someone to be my friend, find someone to marry. I've tried everything you could possibly think of to make friends and I'm so kind to everyone, but I get nothing back. And I hate when people come out with useless advice too, like you should love yourself first or be happy within yourself. I do love myself and I am happy within myself, but I still want friends. Both can be true. Or do they tell me their version of their ideal life, which is the opposite for me, that you are better off alone, and that they are happier having no friends, and I should feel the same way. But I don't want that for myself. I don't get why people always say these things when you reach out to people. There are billions of people on this planet, but not a single one of them wants to be my friend. That's a letter that I grabbed from Reddit. And I sympathize with this person and feeling the same way. You know, being a autistic ADHD person, struggling to make friends is why I'm doing this. Absolutely. It's why I'm doing this. And if you're not familiar with me, my name's Coach Lee, a social connections coach. I help autistic ADHD professionals make better connections. So, you know, I really get this and I want to help. And this is my whole thing. And I'm going to lean into the pattern recognition that we have to discover what's going on and how are we not making friends? What are we really doing in our relationships? Because what I've discovered that, well, people just won't tell you straight up. For the most part, if you're in a neurotypical relationship or friendship, they will hint at it for you and it'll go right over your head. Looks like goes right over your head when that happens. And so it's a struggle because we're trying to figure it out. We're trying not to get the reaction that is going to get us hurt because that rejection sensitivity lives within us. We're trying not to get those things that really feel like our relationship's going to fall apart. So we try not to do the wrong thing, and that ends up with us masking, right? That ends up with us masking, hiding our true selves, hiding who we really are, hiding what we think, hiding what we feel, our stems, our ideas, because we just don't think that they're interested or they don't think they can handle it, or maybe they just don't understand. And so what we do, and what I've done for many years, is just hide it, just close it up. Don't talk about anything. And when you do that long enough, what happens is that you discover nothing about yourself. Nothing about yourself. You don't really get to know yourself. And then people will come along and say, you know, you need to love yourself. That's why you're letting people treat you so badly because you don't love yourself. And I think there's some merit to this, and it's absolutely true in the sense that you don't love yourself. Now, listen. That might trigger you because it used to trigger me a whole lot too. What do you mean love yourself? What do you do? How do you do that? Because then again, people who don't think like we do, they don't think literally. They're just like, well, just go and love yourself. Just do it. And I'm like, I don't even know how. How do you do that? What are the steps? Tell me. I need the steps. And they're like, well, just, just self-care. What is self-care? Going to the nail salon, getting a massage, having a tea, watching your favorite movie, a cozy book. That's what self-care is? Well, if I do all that stuff, do I get to know myself more or love myself more? Ah. Or they'll give you something like, oh, you just don't let people treat you that way. You just don't let people be mean to you. You don't people please. You don't let people walk all over you. Set boundaries. Okay, okay. How do you set boundaries? So as I move around to this answer to this question, being lonely and struggling to make friends, it really is because the love for yourself isn't there. Again, trying not to trigger you here. But what I mean when I say love yourself, it means understand yourself. It simply means you don't understand yourself. And that might trigger you too. But hold on. What I mean when I say understanding, because we can go layers deep into it. We can go layers deep into it. All right, so what about understanding what you like? Understanding what is important and fun and interesting and exciting to you. If you know those things, you're well above the curve. You're on your way. If you know that, if you know those things about yourself, boom, we've got a great start with connecting with people and making new friends on our way of loving ourselves. We understand what we like. It's as simple as that. We understand what we like. Another piece of this understanding is, well, what do we feel? How are we going to feel when we express that love or that interest or that excitement to other people? Are we afraid? It's worth knowing that about yourself. Are you excited? It's worth knowing that about yourself. And even more layers deep, you understand that you're afraid. How are you going to respond? Do you know how you're going to respond? If someone says, I don't like whatever it is that you like, your hobbies are weird, you're weird, ah, how are you going to feel with that? How are you going to respond? Loving yourself means understanding yourself. You're triggered in some way if you back down and you say, "Oh man, I gotta like the thing you like. I'm sorry I even mentioned it. It's not a really big deal to me." Just for then you move into self-abandonment when you do that. Do you abandon yourself because you like those things and it's genuine, it's true, and it's real to you, and you deny it in the face of somebody else because you were afraid? Do you have that understanding that that's going to happen? That when you are afraid, you are going to hide. You are not going to show who you are and how you feel. If you know that, you are much, much further than most people. Got it? Loving yourself, understanding yourself. So now let's look at this understanding of yourself. I'm afraid of people who are going to reject me. I'm afraid of the rejection. I believe that they are going to reject me because it has happened so many times before. I will not even tell people who I am or what I really think. I'm terrified. Do you know that about yourself? Can you admit that to yourself? Does it feel real to you? If it does, then we've got another work. We got another step. We got more to work through. This is where the work really begins with understanding how are you going to move forward. If you believe that every person that you meet is not going to like the real you, subconsciously, unconsciously, you're not going to share. And that's the realness that connects you with other people. That's the authenticity that connects you with other people. And I have a video on this. If you haven't seen it, go check it out. It's called How to Be Vulnerable Without Being Overexposed. You can find it on my YouTube. Just do a quick search. It's about 7 minutes. It'll walk you through what I mean and what you need to show so that you can connect with other people. But noticing this about yourself, noticing that you're afraid and how you're going to respond is where the work is. I love myself. I understand myself. I understand that I'm afraid. And when I see people that I think are going to reject me, I close up. Right there at this point, the knowingness is where you get to make a choice. You can make a new decision. You can do something different because you have the awareness of it. You can make a decision to open up to the next person and then watch. See how they respond to you. Is it a response that's desirable to you? Is it? Did they smile? Did they say, oh, that's awesome? They say, how interesting? That would be a response that's desirable to me. How am I going to feel when they do that? Like I connected, right? On the other hand, what if they say, boo, hiss, no, you're terrible. Your thoughts are weird. You're weird. I don't want to be anywhere near you. That rejection, how are you going to feel when you hit that rejection? You can do one of two things. You can do one of two things. You can say, oh, well, I need to change. I'm sorry, I'll never open up again. That's, oh, I'm so sorry. I'll be whatever you want me to be, just be my friend. that kind of relationship won't work because you're not being yourself. You put on this mask to spend some time with a person physically because they'll probably hang out with you more if you become somebody they want you to be, and you won't feel known and you will still feel lonely. So, people pleasing, changing yourself, abandoning yourself is not going to connect you in the ways that you want. Know that about yourself. Know that it's going to happen. So then, what other option do we have? The other choice is to decide whether or not you want to be in that space with that person. Decide whether or not you want to connect with that person. How important is it for them to like the thing that you like? To at least be curious about it, to at least be interested in you. Those would be a deal. That would be a deal breaker if you shared that you were getting ready to start a business and they just were like, no, that's a bad idea. And they didn't really give you any business advice. They weren't qualified for it. They were just like, "Psh, you can't start a business. You can't do anything." Or if you shared that you were really into horror movies and that is your whole thing, that's your whole stick, and they said, "Ah, I hate horror movies. They're just the worst." Would you just abandon yourself for them? No, you would decide instead of decide. Do I want to be around this kind of person? Do I want to be near this kind of person? Do I want to be connected to this person? One of two things. You can shrink, people please, and just say, I want to be whatever you want me to be. Down that path usually leads to loneliness because no one really knows you. That's how you get into a room full of people who know your name, but they don't know what you're silently feeling. They don't know if you're suffering. They don't know your real joys, your dreams, your hopes. Or do the other thing and recognize that this is not the kind of person that you want to be around. This is not the kind of person you want to open up to connect with. They can't connect with you because they don't care about the things that you connect with. They can't. And what you do with this information and noticing this person instead of shrinking down and becoming somebody you're not or somebody you don't want to be or hiding yourself, instead of being like, I want to be whatever you want me to be. Instead of doing that, you're going to be like, you're going to say, I don't want to connect with you. You are not the kind of person I want to be with. You are not the kind of person that is going to make a good friend to me because I know that about myself. I love myself. I know what feels good to me. I know what I like. I know what's interesting. I know what I really want to connect with somebody on. I know what connection feels like to me. And you're not it. Now, this is where I want you to lean in to your pattern recognition skills and recognize that, oh, if you can't talk to this person about your horror movies or your specific things that you like, then they are not going to be the person that you can open up to. Recognize their patterns of behavior. Recognize that they're not the right one. They're not the right one. And what you do, like in this letter, there's billions of people in the world. You just go on and you check and you say, hey, this is who I am. Do you understand it? Do you like it? Do you think it's cool? And then they'll respond. They have no choice but to respond. They're going to respond and they're going to respond in some way. But if you love yourself and know yourself, you know what you're looking for in a response from that person. You know what you're looking for in a response from that person. And if it matches what you're looking for, then great. You can start developing a friendship. You can start developing a relationship. But if it doesn't match, then it's on you to simply put out of your head that you are not good enough. It is on you to decide that that is not the kind of person that I want to be connected with. I don't want a close connection with them. Maybe you don't even want to know them as an associate. This is how Everybody, I think, I'd like to think everybody does, makes connections. They go around and they say, they have like imagine it's like going to the grocery store and you have a shopping list, right? You have a shopping list and for some reason you have decided to eat organic. Maybe you believe in your health and you're like, you know what? Organic, non-processed is the way to go. And there's so many grocery stores and so many places to go with your grocery list. Imagine that your grocery list is the list of attributes that you want in a friend, a connection. You're like, this is on it. This is broccoli. This is kale. Got some carrots here. Got some cabbage, right? All this organic stuff. This is like knowing yourself, these attributes, things that make you happy, that bring you joy, things that you must be able to do, to say, to discover with this person. You take this list and you go out to a store, but not just any store. You have to decide which store. You have to decide which store you're going to go to. We've got your 7-Eleven. We've got your Kroger. We've got your Whole Foods. Which one is going to be more likely to have the thing that you're looking for? The organic foods. Is it 7-Eleven? No, it's not. Maybe Kroger. They might have a few things. But if you go to Whole Foods, you're more likely to find the organic foods that you were looking for, the list, the attributes of the characters that you're looking for in a friend. And you would know what's on this list because you have written it down. You understand yourself. You know what it is that you like, your needs, your wants, your desires, your dislikes, your hobbies, your habits. You know all those things and you want somebody to match in some kind of way. You love yourself, you understand yourself, you know yourself. That's what love yourself means. So you're loving yourself, understanding yourself, and so you choose to go to places in which you will find the people that are more likely to be like you. And you start talking about yourself. You start talking about your real self, your things that you like, the horror movies that everybody was terrified about, that thought they were weird, your gem collection, your hobbies, your obsessive hobbies, whatever they might be. Maybe you switch hobbies every once in a while and you hyper focus on a few. Maybe you want somebody who understands that. And you talk about your hobbies. You talk about the fact that you do those things. When you go to the places where people are more likely to do the things that you're doing, then it is much more likely that you will connect with them. You'll be less afraid to talk about the things that are real and true to you. And you will connect with those people who are also not afraid to talk about those things that are real and true to them. And we can see this is true for many people who get older. Have you ever seen these much older people, I think in their 60s, 70s, and they're just like, yeah, I don't care. I don't care what anybody thinks. I don't care what anybody says about what I do and who I am and how I show up. I'm just gonna be me. I'm just gonna be me because they realize that pretending and masking doesn't really help. It hasn't served them up until this time. They're just like, you know what? Forget about it. I'm gonna be me. And they will attract people. They'll be charismatic. They'll be charismatic in some way. They'll be admired, even by the younger people who look at them and are like, I kind of wish I could just do that. You can't. You can't. It's about this thinking that we have for ourselves. So I want to wrap it up here. I'm gonna recap really quick and say to this person who was struggling with loneliness, who's 37 years old, struggling with loneliness, making friends, you really want to be able to love yourself and understand yourself. This is what I mean when I say love yourself. It's understand yourself, your needs, wants, desires, how you're going to feel when you have conversations with people who are your friends. If you're afraid to talk about those things that you really like, that you really enjoy, then start there. Just start talking to those, just start talking about the things that are important to you, and then watch how other people respond. If they respond in a way that doesn't feel good to you, put out your mind that there's something wrong with you. Just go, oh, there's another person that I just didn't connect with. Another person that just I couldn't I couldn't see how I could want to hang out with them, right? And for more on this and the step-by-step directions that I talk about, is how to be vulnerable without being overexposed. You can find that 7-minute video on my YouTube channel. And if you like this and you'd like more of this, you'd like to actually ask me a question, we have open coaching on Saturdays. So come ask your question. I will give you real actionable answers to help you and support you in your journey. You can find it at patternsofpossibility.com/events. And we have all kinds of other things happening there too. So check it out if you're interested in meeting new people, if you're interested in getting some of your questions answered, if you just want to feel safe in a space that's not going to think you're weird for being who you are, this is it. Patternsofpossibility.com/events.